What's up guys, Ivan Carranza here, and today we're gonna take a look at the Caveman Audio BP1 compact DI pedal. We're gonna listen to 3 different samples in 3 different playing styles, so let's check that out and then we're gonna talk about the DI. Now, before we continue, let me tell you that I have no affiliation whatsoever with Caveman. The only reason why I have the DI at the moment is because I was curious about testing it, and my good friend Tim let me borrow it for a couple of weeks to give it a test because I was considering a backup solution for my Noble DI. Now, we're also gonna listen to a couple of more samples, switching between the sound of the Caveman and of my interface. So I split the signal before reaching the Caveman and before reaching my interface so that both units get the exact same performance and the sound of my bass. There's one completely clean version, and then there's one with an amp emulation going into the units. So we're gonna switch in a mix and then solo the signal so you get an idea of how much color or character this DI is applying to your bass. So let's check that out. Now, the BP1 compact is, like the name says, the more smaller version of the Caveman preamp. And even though the name is compact, I think it's still fairly big. You know, it's almost the size of my head. It's kind of heavy, not too much, but it's really sturdy and well built, which I appreciate because it makes the pedal road worthy. And these are made in Denmark. As far as the controls go, you have a gain and a level. Pretty simple, a foot switch to mute the signal, and on the top you have your instrument input, DI out, a loop, an out for your amp or whatever or out you want to use it for, a tuner out, and the power supply socket, and this runs at 12 volt. Now, what I've noticed is that when you run the gain below noon, you get a more transparent signal, and once you start pushing the gain a little higher, then you start getting more saturation out of the preamp here, and the level is just the master volume control. What I really like is that you have a loop inside this, because that means you only have to plug your bass into one place, and then you can run all your pedal chains out of the loop of the pedal and then come back and then go out of the DI output. You don't have to worry about having two different signals, one at the beginning, one at the end, or where you're gonna place this pedal in your signal chain, because sometimes you're forced to place DIs at the end because that's where you're gonna use the transformer of the DI. In this case, you can place it wherever you want on your signal chain because you have the loop, which I really like. The other thing that's cool is that you can use a power supply for a pedal board to power it up. You just have to pay attention that it's at 12 volt, but this means that you can, for example, use a Chox DC7 to power your entire pedal board, including this unit, which is really cool. And that was the reason why I was curious about this, because at the moment I'm having to use two power cables to power my pedal board, my Quad Cortex and my Noble. And before you ask, yes, I'm gonna do a comparison between the Noble and the Caveman. But at the moment I have to use two power cables to power both units on my pedal board. And using this, for example, would allow me to only have to use one, because I can plug it in to my Chox power supply beneath the pedal board, which is pretty cool. Regarding the sound, I think this is a really good DI, especially for the price and all the features that it has. It's pedal board friendly, it's simple to use, you can get a great sound by plugging it, and you only have to twist two knobs, and it's fairly easy to understand. So for that, I think it's a great unit. However, it does apply an EQ to your sound. It's not fully transparent. It has more low end and top end extension, and this is something that maybe you're not looking for. Maybe you would like to have a more transparent DI. Whether or not that is the case, I cannot make that decision. It's something that you have to decide for yourself. But I think this is something that I wouldn't use all the time for my purposes, for my own very purposes, because I noticed that for some styles, that low end extension could be a bit too boomy right out of the gate. Instead of me having the option to dial it in and out, So for some situations, I would definitely grab this. For other times, I would gravitate towards a more transparent DI maybe. If you're only playing straight out of DI into front of house or to record, I think this is a great solution though, because I'm mostly using amp simulations going to front of house, so they already have that cabinet low-end response. So adding more on top of that is sometimes a bit much, and adding more bite on top of the cabinet bite that they have is sometimes too much. If, however, you're going just pure DI without any cabinet simulation whatsoever, I think this is a really cool option. Like I mentioned, the Caveman sounds really good, and I really like the simplicity of it. It's easy to get a great sound out of it. But there's one thing that I noticed as well, and that is most noticeable when I've played like rock eighth notes, and compared to my tube DI, the Caveman sounds flatter. It doesn't have the same depth, and it doesn't have like an openness to the sound. It sounds as if it was compressed a little bit. It doesn't breathe as much as my tube preamp. It's really hard to describe, but I hope it translates once I do the comparison video. But other than that, I think for the price, the simplicity, and the features, and the inputs and outputs, I think it's a great unit. If you have enough space on your pedal board and you would like to have a really solid DI, I think it's a great option, especially in the 500 to 600 euro range. So I hope you guys liked the video. let me know what you think in the comments, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with the content that's coming to the channel. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.